My son came home from soccer practice and said, "Coach told me real dads don't work so much." I was standing at the stove making his favorite pasta when he said it. Liam dropped his gear bag on the kitchen floor, didn't look at me, and headed straight for his room. I turned off the burner and followed him. He was 9 years old, and he'd never spoken to me like that before. "What did you just say?" He finally looked at me. "Coach Ray says dads who really love their kids make time. He says your job isn't more important than me." My throat tightened. I worked construction, 60 hours a week since his mother passed 3 years ago. Every overtime shift paid for his cleats, his registration fees, his future. I tried to explain. Liam shrugged. "Coach Ray says that's what dads always say." The next week, Liam refused to play catch in the backyard. "Coach Ray says I need to rest my arm for real practice. He says you don't know proper technique anyway." I'd played baseball through college, coached his t-ball team for 2 seasons. I let it go. Kids parrot things. But then Liam stopped eating dinner with me. "Coach Ray says athletes need specific nutrition. He's been giving me protein shakes after practice." I called the league office to ask about this Coach Ray. They said he'd volunteered last season, had a clean background check, was great with the boys. Parents loved him. I hung up feeling stupid for overreacting. Then the gifts started appearing. New cleats that cost more than my car payment showed up in Liam's closet. A smartphone I didn't buy was charging on his nightstand. "Where did these come from?" Liam grabbed the phone defensively. "Coach Ray got them for me. He says I'm talented. He says I deserve nice things." I confiscated the phone immediately. Liam screamed at me for 20 minutes straight. "You're jealous because he actually cares about me. He said you'd do this. He said you'd try to keep me from people who actually see me." The words were rehearsed. I could hear it in his voice. An adult had put those sentences in my son's mouth. I showed up at practice unannounced the following Thursday. Coach Ray saw me from across the field, and his smile flickered for exactly 1 second before returning. He was maybe 40, clean-cut, wearing an expensive watch that didn't match his volunteer position. He jogged over and shook my hand too firmly. "Great to finally meet Liam's dad. He talks about you all the time." "No, he doesn't," I thought. "Because you've made sure he barely talks to me at all." I asked about the cleats, the phone. "Just trying to help out. Single dads have it rough. I know how it is." He patted my shoulder like we were old friends. I watched him walk back to the boys and put his arm around my son. Liam looked at me like I was a stranger, interrupting something important. The school called 2 days later. Liam hadn't shown up for class. My heart stopped. I called his phone. Coach Ray answered. "Hey, no worries. Liam said he had a half day. We're just grabbing lunch and hitting the batting cages." I could hear my son laughing in the background. "Bring him home, now." Coach Ray's voice changed. "Liam's comfortable here. Maybe we should talk about what's best for him." I drove 90 miles an hour to the address the school had on file for the volunteer coaching staff. When I pulled up, Liam was sitting in a lawn chair outside a small house, drinking a soda. Coach Ray stood in the doorway with his arms crossed. I grabbed Liam's arm and pulled him toward my truck. Coach Ray stepped forward. "He doesn't want to go with you, right, buddy?" Liam hesitated. That hesitation broke something in me. I got him in the truck and drove straight to the police station. They took my statement but said they couldn't do much. No laws broken technically. Weird, sure, but not illegal. I hired a private investigator that night using the last of my emergency savings. 3 days later, she sent me an email with attachments. Raymond DeLuca had lived in 4 different states in 6 years. In each one, he'd volunteered with youth sports. In each one, he'd befriended single-parent families. 2 restraining orders. 1 dropped custody interference charge, a pattern spanning a decade. I brought the documents to the league president's house at midnight, showed him everything. His face went gray under the porch light. We only ran the basic check. Coach Ray was removed before sunrise. I sat Liam down with the evidence spread across our kitchen table, showed him the other families, the other boys, the playbook that had been used on us. My son's face crumbled as he realized every kind word had been strategy, every gift had been a hook. He grabbed my shirt and sobbed into my chest for an hour straight. I held him and didn't say a word. Raymond DeLuca was arrested 4 months later in another state, attempting the same routine with twin boys from a recently divorced family. His lawyer called it mentorship. The prosecutor called it grooming. Liam testified via video link, voice shaking but steady. He told them exactly what Coach Ray had said about me, about work, about real dads. The jury deliberated for 90 minutes.